Yo, what's up? It's Nick here with Living Rich, and today I got a comment on my End of Psoriasis page, another page that I have going for tips on how to kind of get healthy skin. And I posted a video on there yesterday, and the video was about making kind of like getting past like the elephant in the room, getting past the thing that both people know is happening, like when you're trying to communicate but neither really wants to communicate about, and kind of like communicating that honestly and effectively so you can kind of clear the board and get what you need to do done while respecting the other person. So, Phil said something along the lines that he walks on eggshells, and even to do little things. And this got me thinking a lot about how I can be sort of ruthless with certain things, and with other things I'm kind of the same way. I'm kind of like really sensitive and like I tread very lightly, like I walk on eggshells as well. And I was looking at the difference, and I realized the things I'm very ruthless and effective at, for better or worse too, like the ruthlessness can often come off, rub people the wrong way, but at the same time I don't waste time with it. So, and it works for me, and I understand where I'm what I'm losing, and I kind of take the value from the efficiency of it, from the efficiency of just being very direct and getting stuff done. And I found that the answer is desensitization. Desensitization. I think that's how it goes. So, desensitizing happens everywhere with anything you're doing. If you think about it, you have something like a cup of coffee, for example, and the first time you have a cup of coffee, it just blows you up inside. You have all this energy, and you're just like boom and whoosh. And then as the days go by, like you keep drinking it, that one cup of coffee, but like the effectiveness of it kind of diminishes, and you become desensitized to the caffeine. And that same effect happens with almost everything in life, and I'm challenged right now to find any example of where it does not happen. And like even making money, you make a lot, or you make a certain amount of money, and like at first, like coming from less money, you're just like whoa, and then little by little, you're just like, oh, okay, yeah. And then even more so, you're just like, it's just what I make, whatever. Until you like get that next plateau. But the desensitization is also a tool, and I want to talk about conscious desensitization. In the direction of where you want to go. So something that I did a few years back, and something that I continuously practice today, with these videos being a good example, is conscious desensitization, and I'm being challenged with this word every time I say it. And what conscious desensitization means is it's like looking at where you want to go in life, and looking at the type of person you want to be, and seeing what you need to be able to do in order to be that person, and then acclimating yourself to the conditions and effectively desensitizing yourself to those same conditions. And at first it seems like a negative, like the desensitization seems like you're not feeling, but I don't think it's that. I think it's more, I think acclimation might be a more positive term, but desensitizing is really what's going on. So if you think about, if you want to be really good with girls and you want to be an effective communicator and be able to walk up to any girl you like, it's scary at first. Like it's pretty intimidating to walk up to like this tall, beautiful, gorgeous woman and just be like, hi, I'm Nick. I'd like to, get your number and hang out sometime. And that it takes a lot of like centeredness in yourself, which could also come from a really, really centered state of mind and good state of mind. But I find that most people, including myself, don't have that marshaled on command as much as they would like to. So the alternative to that is, desensitization in a positive way, in a positive, constructive way. So to clarify this and to kind of get to the point here and get this video direct and effective, desensitizing is like a sword, and it can be used either positive or negative. So in the same way that you could desensitize yourself to the amount of food you're eating by just like overeating all the time, you can also desensitize yourself to exercise by exercising a lot and therefore be more capable to exercise, or take a habit like directly approaching people, getting like the most scary thing done in your life and facing your issues. You can desensitize yourself to that, where that's an activity that can, while it's beneficial in itself, can be very beneficial in other areas of your life as well, and can set off some pretty big chain reactions in your world. Like just tackling small things as well as large things that you're putting off. And I think a lot of it comes down to the habits that you have in place. And right now, yeah. So now for like practical terms, if you wanted to desensitize yourself to like human interaction and to communicating what you want and communicating what you need, my recommendation would be to take every opportunity you have to do something like that or similar to that, and to stop. And also, there's a lot to be said about your self-image and changing your self-image. I think a lot of people think of themselves as a certain type of guy or a certain type of woman, where they are they're just not the kind of guy to do that. And while that's okay if you don't want to do anything, but most people want to do something but have this kind of like surface level image of themselves that says, I'm not that kind of guy. And what I would challenge you to do is to one, get rid of that self-image where you're not that kind of guy, and realize you're a human being that has an infinite level of potential, really, and you choose what you want to express, and that will give you like a more realistic point of view. And then once you're there, in order to become better at whatever you're doing, constantly desensitizing yourself to it. For example, see these fingers? I don't know if you can see it, but on the tips there are calluses. And those calluses are from pressing down on steel strings on a guitar multiple times daily. And what that does is it desensitizes those tips of my fingers and allows me to hold them down effectively. And that is essentially what you need to train your brain to do with whatever activity you're doing. So whether it's from, approaching girls you want to approach, to making calls to family that is really difficult for you, or asking for a job or interviewing, all of this stuff will take the desensitization of the active parts in your psyche, your body, and all of that in order for you to complete them effectively. And I think that anyone who doesn't really fail at it isn't going to have a conscious control of it. Some people, you can get in this serendipitous state of mind where everything just works out, and like exactly when to do a specific action. But in order to consistently reproduce a desired effect for anything, you can't be dependent on that serendipitous state of mind, because as we all know, like our states of mind, our moods, how we feel during the day, change so quickly just depending on what we eat, how much sunshine we got, exercise, whatever. So while it's important to kind of like encourage these positive emotions and moods, it's also important not to rely on them and allow yourself to be a blunt instrument and kind of shoot in the direction that you want to shoot into, and build the life that you want to build. So that's the video that I have for the day. Gonna wrap it with just saying, keep desensitizing yourself in the direction that you want to desensitize yourself in, and also be conscious of the directions you don't want to desensitize yourself in. For example, I avoid alcohol like the plague, not because I think it's necessarily super bad for me, and even drugs too, like even like mellow shit like marijuana. Like I do it very rarely, like super rarely, because I understand the habitual nature of my brain and the desensitization factor as well. So when I do it, one, it's super enjoyable. I don't have to do a lot, and it's not a habit for me. It's not like I do this often, and I'm not desensitized to it. So I'm very sensitive to anything that, as far as like alcohol or marijuana, that comes in my body, and for that reason I don't do a lot of it. So look at your my challenge for you would be to look at your life, decide where you want to do more of and where you want to do less of, and kind of take this tool of desensitization, or this idea, and see how it can help you shape what you want to be, or how you want to be, and how effective you want to be in your life. Yeah. I remember a few years back, like, I would just go, and whether for right or wrong, I would just go up to like these girls and just like be super completely honest, and get blown out every time, just because I didn't know how to do it more subtly. But it served its purpose, and I felt better for expressing myself. And I also got desensitized to talking with them and expressing, what I really felt with the girl. So, and there are things that I'm still desensitizing myself to. Like, for example, these videos. I'm kind of weirded out by doing them around other people. Although right now I'm in the center of the courtyard in my apartment complex. People walk by every once in a while, but they probably just think I'm on my phone, talking to, video chatting maybe with somebody. But yeah, little by little, you don't have to like challenge yourself to where you get burnt out and totally averse to it, like exercising one day for like 3 hours or something ridiculous like that, after not exercising at all for an entire month would like totally burn your muscles out, and then it would be harder the next time to get into it. So I always, that's another tool that I use, is I always ease myself into whatever I'm doing. And I've learned to kind of feel out where it's, well, not even learn to, like, just my principle is like easy first, like as easy as possible first, and then from there I'll like turn up the intensity, because I know if I turn it up too much or overturn it, then I'm gonna burn myself out on the activity, and I'm not gonna complete the goal that I want to do. Whereas if I do it too little and not intense enough, there will always be the potential for the next time to get back in it and improve on myself. And usually I'm more desensitized. I have the experience of the time before where I can kind of get more acclimated and therefore be a more effective player in whatever thing I am doing. So thank you very much for watching. I know this video turned out to be a little bit long, but I hope you enjoyed it and gleaned some information from it, and I will talk to you tomorrow. All right, thank you for watching.